Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Paranormal, the New Normal. I am your host, Jeremy, as always, trying to bring a little normalcy to this world. Does it ever happen? No. And the last month or two, it's not happening anywhere near that slice at all. God. We don't get into that stuff on this show, though. Welcome, everybody. I'm glad to be back once again. I know it's been a while. I don't get to record too many of these anymore. But this one, I couldn't say no to this one. This one seems interesting as could be. Ladies and gentlemen, I am being joined by Kelly Coulter, psychic medium and psychic investigator. Welcome to the show, Kelly.
Oh, thank you so much, Jeremy. Thanks for having me on.
It's my pleasure. I haven't had a psychic on a good long while, and it's always a good conversation. And they just haven't been coming to me looking for to be on shows lately. I'm like, okay, but uh, I, I honestly only record the show if people come and ask to be on. At this point, I have so many episodes in backlog, but I couldn't turn you down, and got to ask you the
Yay.
first. Got to ask you the question I asked everybody at the beginning of the show. What led you down the road to the paranormal?
Well, actually, that's where I started was as a paranormal investigator. It's kind of when you don't want to embrace your psychic or mediumship abilities. You sometimes start there. I think like everybody else, I've had experiences, right? So that's kind of what got me interested. And I still enjoy a good paranormal investigation, right?
Of course, I mean, well, I say of course, but never been on one. So I mean, I should say of course.
Oh,
I I got kids. I don't got time, but I mean, well, I mean, I kind of live in one every day in my house, but that's a different story. Um, including laying there in bed last night trying to figure out what the hell that is. But there's this human head shaped shadow on the ceiling of my bedroom, and some nights it's there, some nights it's not, and it looks like it looks like something sitting in the rocking chair at the foot of our bed. So I don't know. I, I know we have spirits in the house, as anyone who listens to this podcast is well aware, but this I don't know. It I've been given like people have told me like things to do to get rid of it, and none of it really works. But I don't know. It's kind of creepy though, kind of creepy. Uh, but moving moving on from my own personal haunting. People hear enough of that in this show anyway. Uh, when did you first discover you had psychic abilities?
Oh, yeah. So actually, when I was little, probably no, I wouldn't say psychic, but more mediumship was actually when my dad passed away. So I have a lot of visitation dreams, and this is the first time that I noticed. And they don't happen too often, but I was 12. I was asleep. I had a dream that my dad, he was in the hospital, that he came in the dream and said goodbye and said a couple other things, right? Wake up right after the dream, and the hospital calls to say that he passed away, right? So that was the first time. But, look, I'm 59 right now. So that was a long time ago. Back in the day when we didn't have the internet and you didn't have any other way to know that you weren't crazy or that this didn't happen to other people. So I would say that's probably the first time that I remember something was a little bit different.
Yeah, I mean it sounds. See, I always say like my dad passed in 2017. I always say like, why can't he visit me? Why can't he come talk to me or something like that? Like it always drives me insane. Like, but yeah, I have these spirits in my house that aren't even related to me. But it's something I think about all the time. But see, I am one of those people who doesn't have any abilities, but always wished he did. So, those who want never have. But well, suppose
I always say that everybody is psychic. You just, you know,
I've been told I'm an empath by other psychics, and I just have not learned how to unlock it yet. And I'm like, okay, how do I unlock it? Like that's the $1 million question. I've I've tried.
I
I've
think
tried.
it's a lot of like practice actually. I mean, it's not like everyone always kind of relates it to like exercising, right? And who hates or who loves to exercise? Not me, but the more you practice, the more you understand like how you receive things. If you that's how I did it. A lot of practice, a lot of taking classes and practice.
Yeah, which goes back to the kid, but someday I'll have time. I
Yeah.
I can tell myself that, hoping it's true, but someday I'll have time. Um, so when I gotta go into this because I love this part. When did you first start being a psychic investigator? That's a whole nother realm.
Yeah, so I think, most you'll if you look online, most mediums or psychics kind of have like their specialty. Like they'll tell you on their website what they're good at. Sometimes they're evidential mediums, sometimes, different things. And like I was talking about, just taking different classes and trying different things out because I was the kind of person that tries everything out. And I took a mentorship in this, and it was like, that was my thing. And actually, dreams is one of the ways I get my information. So, when you have something like that, then you kind of want to keep going. So that's what I did.
Huh. And do you work with like local police and whatnot, or because
Well,
I know some police are skeptic to do like that type of work, but
well, I would say all are. I would
uh,
say the ones law enforcement that work with psychics, I would say probably don't admit to it. It's very difficult. I do have friends in law enforcement that I do work with. Mostly I work with families, and the information that I get, then they can take to law enforcement. And I do work with a group called the Find Me Group that we will get a case and then we work on it. And then the person who is former law enforcement will send that to, whoever is asking for the information. But very rarely do I work directly with law enforcement.
yeah, I've out of all the psychic investigators I've interviewed, and there's been a lot. Like only one of them actually continuously worked with police throughout her
Mhm.
career. All the other ones are like, no, they won't even talk to me.
Yeah.
But it's just, I mean, I get it, but I also have heard stories of during COVID of like detectives in NYPD taking astral projection classes with people I know.
Of
So I, I,
course.
I mean, I think they are opening more up to it nowadays. I think it's a long, bumpy road, and it's going to be a long time before there's ever like a psychic unit in an actual PD. Like it's going to be a long time.
Right, I agree. And it's kind of, I always say, like, it's just like another like tool in your toolbox, right? Kind of like a search and rescue dog, right? You might use that as a tool to find somebody, but they don't always find the person, but they can direct you, to the path. It's kind of like that with psychics, right? You get this information, it might be valuable information, but it may not always lead you to finding the person or finding out what happened, but it gives you more clues to what happened.
So, how does your process usually work? Like when someone comes to you, which I'm sure they find you by your website or
Yeah.
by word of mouth. I'm sure, but
Yeah. Um, so, I have a form you fill out, and I will meet with the person to see what their case is. I don't take all cases. Um, you know, some are really hard to turn down, but there's nothing that you can do for them. So I do turn some down, but they come, and then I don't ask for a lot of information. I basically usually only want to have like a photo of the person, their name, last seen or date and time of passing, and then the city or location. And then I do my first round where I psychometrize the picture. So just looking at the picture of the person, feeling into that person, get all my information I can get, and then a few more other steps that I do, and then I'll gather the information, and then I might go back and talk to the family member and get some more facts from them to see if I'm on the right track, right? So, does this make sense to you? I'm getting this, and this, and then I'll go back again to the drawing board and fill in a little bit more. And it's kind of a long process. It takes me quite a while. I might do some forensic artwork, which I am not an artist, right? So mine's pretty much going to be like a smiley face with the eyes, but I might be tuning into like a certain aspect of what they look like, or things like this, or maybe I'm working on who the perpetrator is. So then I'll do that. There's just a lot of steps. It just kind of depends on the case and what the objective is.
Which I'm kind of curious because what are the typical reasons that you would turn a case like down? Like, is,
um,
is it because you're getting information already about it that you know it's going to be like a dead end, or is it just? I'm kind of curious.
well, yeah, I know. I have quite a few people that will come and it's an unexplained death, but it's really that the person died at their own hands.
Oh,
And it's hard for people to accept that. And it's not always the case. I have worked on those cases many times, but when you have someone who is, locked in a room, I mean, just things like this where I don't feel like I can be helpful.
yeah. I mean, I get that. I mean, and nobody can help in every situation. There's no way. I
Hmm.
mean, even police can't help in some situations because it's not gonna be worth
Hmm.
anybody's time to get involved in it. What was the most interesting case you ever had?
Oh, that's a hard question. They're all super interesting. I don't know. Like I've worked on a missing person case where somebody was dropped off at the Mexican border and Mexico border and disappeared. That was one I just worked on. That was interesting. Um, there was a ransom with that one. Um, anyway, that was fun. Not fun, I shouldn't say that, but that was challenging, right? So that
Yeah.
does make it kind of fun for you to try to solve the puzzle. Um, I just worked on one that was a drive-by shooting. That one, it's kind of like a puzzle. You put the pieces together, and the more you get, the more the story comes together. Uh, I worked on one that was interesting that I used my dream skills with. This was a missing teenager, and she had not passed. She was alive, but I had a dream about her that she was in a closet, like hiding in a closet. And so while the mom was at work, the boyfriend had her, in the house hiding her, and that ended up being true. Um, so
Hmm.
I don't know. Yeah. So it's kind of fun when you actually do get the validation because look, I'll admit I'm wrong a lot, you know, but it's not a perfect science. But
Oh,
when I'm
God, no. I mean, there's a reason that interpreting dreams is something that people have been working on for a millennia because it's never going to be a perfect science. I mean, it's
right,
it's it's not easy to interpret your dreams. They can mean 5,000 different things, even on a regular basis. When you're not a psychic or when you're not in the paranormal field, like
for
just
sure.
regular dreams can mean 5,000 different things. I mean, it's the way it works. And I mean, kudos on your modesty of that too, as well, of course, because I mean, it's a lot of people would never want to admit that that fact, but I mean, it's no one's gonna be right all the time. That's not gonna happen. Especially,
No,
I mean, police detectives get it wrong all the freaking time. So I mean, it's
right. And it's
which.
a lot of, sorry,
Oh no, go ahead, go ahead.
it's a lot of going back to the drawing board, like I said, like almost like if you're doing a mediumship reading too, I get that wrong as well because I'm the one doing the interpreting. And so sometimes I have to back up and say, okay, what are they telling me? Because I got it wrong, and then before I can get it right. Same thing with this process. Sometimes you have to keep going back and go down a different path, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like people think it is in the movies where you go see a psychic and they just eyes go white and they point their finger and say, "This is gonna happen tomorrow." No, it's not that way. It's
Yeah,
I've had psychic readings done so many times that it's all ambiguous. Like it could mean a lot of different things, and sometimes it means what you want it to mean. Most of the time, though, it probably isn't going to. It just
yeah.
facts of life. I mean, right there, that's all it is. Have any of your cases ever led you back to the paranormal? Like led you to an actual? paranormal, like whether it be like an actual like some kind of haunting or even like a demon possession type thing.
Ooh. Um, not not really. I'm trying to think of a situation where that would have been. Not really. And so I just moved. I moved to Washington State, but the town that I lived in before was tiny, super small.
Yeah,
And so I didn't do a lot of like boots on the ground kind of work. So I didn't like wasn't able to really like go to the location. A lot of it was online. So that is my goal now. And so I'm hoping, to be in the location so I can pick up more information. See if because I know that works for me better. So to answer your question, I guess not. And so when I hesitate, because I'm thinking about when I've been on paranormal investigations, right, and picked
yeah,
up information that way. Um, but I'm going to say no right now.
yeah. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's that's. I mean, I have a. There's an author who was on the show a couple times. She writes a book literally about a psychic detective who gets involved with all this angel and demon storyline and whatnot.
Hmm.
So I mean, I always have to ask that for investigators. Like, has anything related back to like a regular spirit haunting, like or something like that? Like that's. I mean, I know investigators that work with people who have shadow people infestations in their house and stuff like that as well. So,
So in that case, yes, like I have worked
oh,
on that. Like as a paranormal investigator on a team, yes. And that's also very interesting because you have to go in and debunk everything before you can decide whether or not this really is the case, right?
exactly. I mean,
So, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say you gotta get rid of the obvious before you can
Mhm.
start looking at the stuff that's not as obvious. I mean, it's you got because it shadows could be anything. So that could be. I mean, you gotta make sure it's not really like just a shadow, especially in those situations. I mean, but I mean, if it's a real infestation, you're gonna see them move. You're gonna see them move eventually,
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
one in my
So,
damn ceiling.
so are you bothered by that? Like, does it bother you? I mean, does it feel,
It freaks my wife out more than me, and our baby sleeps in the room with us, so we and
oh,
she wakes up screaming in the middle of the night sometimes, and we don't know why.
oh, that's
Like,
hard.
like something like she wakes up and something scares her. Like I mean, if there's something, and the rocking chair is literally right in front of her crib. So if something's sitting in the rocking chair, it's literally just staring like straight at her. I would assume, or either that or it's looking out the window. I don't know which, but um, it's I don't know. So I mean, I don't want it affecting my baby. I mean, that's the only thing that drives me nuts about it. It doesn't bother me. I'm just like I just tell her like I know my wife like, ignore it. Like it just I ignore it. Like if you're not supposed to talk about them, just let them be. Like let the maybe they'll go away eventually. I mean, because there are nights in a row where it's not there, and it's like,
Yeah.
well, where is it? Like that's when you gotta get curious. Like, well, where in the house is it right now? The rest of the house is dark, so you're not gonna see it if it is there even. But it's like, where is it? It's creepy. It can be creepy. It really can be, but I just try not to let it bother me. And just we're so sleep deprived with having a baby, we go to sleep regardless anyway. But it's not gonna keep us awake. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. So, I
Uh,
mean, you said people told you like what you can do to get rid of it and everything. And I'm sure that's a chore as well. Um,
I mean, people keep telling me like, just tell her it's not welcome and it has to leave. I'm like,
yep.
doesn't work.
Yeah.
I could scream the top of my lungs at it, which I have, and it doesn't work. I could say it nicely. I could ask, and it doesn't. If it's listening, even it doesn't work. I don't know. It's I don't know. I have a couple other methods I gotta try when I get the time. One of my guests I've had a couple times, Tina Irwin, the ghost helper, has a crossing over prayer that
Oh,
she has on her website in audio form, and I want to try playing that in there sometime and see if she swears it works every time. So I I mean if they're somewhat ready to go at least, but I don't know. I gotta try it. That's the last thing I got to try, so I gotta try it. But besides actually finding someone that can come like in and just
right.
which I mean in this community I've met over 300 people. I know a lot of people that can do that. It's just trying to find one in my area is always the problem. But
Yeah, for sure.
I know them all over the freaking world, but they're not going to fly in a plane. I'm not going to pay for them to fly in a plane to come here and do that.
No,
So
no.
I'm good. I'm good on that. I don't. Yeah. So, but you were saying you worked on a shower person investigation. I'm kind of dying to hear more about that. Like, were you guys actually able to get rid of them, or?
Oh, um, yes, but to be honest, like sometimes they come back, right? So it's a lot of different things. Like I'm thinking of one that I worked on where, the lady was super freaked out. There were things in the mirrors, there were furnitures being moved. She'd had the priest come in to bless it twice. She also had some mental health issues, which didn't make things any better.
Yeah,
And so I think it's kind of like when you have that atmosphere and you don't keep that cleanse, for a better word,
ne-
it keeps
neg-
kind of coming back.
negativity. They feed off negativity, from what I've been
Yeah.
told. So, if you can't keep your house positive, they will come back because they want more of that food. 'Cause that's what they feed off of is negativity. So,
Yeah.
which I
And this
mean, oh, sorry. Go ahead, please.
No, I keep talking over you. Sorry. No, and she had done like this love curse thing, and there was a lot going on with that. So, yes, cleared it away for a while, and then it came back. And so that's another case of where you really can't help anymore because
Yeah.
they're not going to follow, directions.
It's like those people who have gastric bypass surgery and then go right back to the same diet they had beforehand. It's like there's no helping you. Just
Yeah.
there's no helping you. Like you're not gonna listen to anybody. So
Hmm.
it makes sense. And I mean, the biggest problem with shadow people is we don't know what they are or where they come from, or we don't know their origins. Or I mean, you need to know something's origins to know how to get rid of it. That's why it works. That's why once you figure out what a spirit is or who a spirit is, I should say, you usually can get rid of it because you usually can figure out like why it's there. It's a, it's not easy. I'm not gonna say it's easy, but you usually can get to that path eventually. With a shadow person, who the hell knows why they're there, where they came from? Like it's
Yeah.
interdimensional. I'm guessing it's interdimensional, 100% in my mind, but which makes it even more scary because if they can go in and out as they please, you can't stop them. We don't have that
Yeah.
ability. We don't have that ability to stop portals from opening yet. I mean, well, we can't even see them 99% of the time. So it's rare. It's rare stories I've heard where you actually can see a portal open. Like, and very few people can. It's only you have to have that ability basically. But
Yeah, and that is a good point. Like it's so different with a shadow person versus like, I mean, I feel like I know we have a spirit in our house. We just moved in, and but I feel not malevolent, right? I do feel like it's the person that built this house that has passed.
that's the same boat I'm in. Yeah,
Oh, with the one with the rocking chair?
I I don't know because it's a husband and wife that are here that built the house and they didn't die in the house, but they both came back after they died apparently.
Yeah.
And as I've been told by many psychics now, because I've had all this confirmed. That's the scary part. I've had all this confirmed. Um, two humans, two dogs. Apparently, one of the dogs was mine, but the other dog was the original owner's. Um, and I mean, it's the same, but because like they're not hostile.
Hmm.
You don't see stuff flying off counters. You don't see like cabinet doors slamming and closing and all that. Like
Right.
they're just here. The most they've done is maybe pull hair once in a while, like when we first moved in, and like you'll hear footsteps if you're in the basement and like nobody else is awake. Like sometimes you'll hear, or nobody else in the house even. Sometimes if you're in the basement, you'll hear footsteps like upstairs. So, I mean, it can be creepy, but they're not.
Yeah.
They're like you said, they're not malevolent. They're not trying to hurt anybody or trying to.
Hmm.
It's not the big haunting movie of get out. Like it's not that. Like
Yeah.
it's not that. It's just this was their home and this is where they're comfortable and they are staying here for that reason.
Yeah.
So I get why like you're not because do you typically cross spirits over? Is that something like that you do or have done?
Oh, there's so many things about that, right? Um, I typically don't. Um, I mean, I have been on a team where that was, somebody's specialty. I don't know. I have mixed feelings about. To be honest, I changed my mind about what things are sometimes, right? Like we were just talking about shadow people, or if it's
Yep.
spirit, a person that lived here. A lot of places that you go, like you go on the let's say, a paranormal investigation that's on a like old ship or something. Is that really spirit? Is it residual energy? You know, what is it actually? Are you really crossing that person over? Um, so I still have a lot of questions, right?
But that, I mean, that's the paranormal field in general, though. It's all
Yeah.
I say all the time. We're in the paranormal field because we want to ask questions. We don't expect to get we don't expect to get the answers. We want to ask the questions. Like, I mean, it's if we were here to get anyone who's here to get answers is in the wrong field. That's for sure, because you're not going to
Correct.
get them. I mean, this field is huge, mass, different topics, and no one has answers for any of them. Well, I bet you. Okay, apparently the government does, and that might be coming out soon. But we can hope. We can hope. I kept saying, I mean, when they dropped it in 2020 originally that UFOs were real, I was like, about time. And one, and two, when's Bigfoot coming? Come on, give me the information on Bigfoot. I know you have it. I know you have it. Like, I know the government has it. There's too many stories of government being involved with it, and there's signs at national parks saying what to do if you see one. Why are there signs if they don't exist? Like, it's it irks me just to
So,
no degree.
and that's, I know, me too. And that's actually a good example of what I'm talking about. Maybe not even that long ago, like I was really skeptical. Bigfoot, I mean, come on, why are they always hiding? Why don't you see them? And then I started thinking, you know, I got on this thing about, well, maybe they're like interdimensional. There's a portal. That's how they come in and out. You know, Native Americans here, I know, believe that they call for them and they protect their land. So they call and they come when they call for them. I mean, that kind of makes sense. So,
Guardians of the Forest, yeah. I mean, that's what Native Americans consider them as Guardians of the Forest, and I mean, yeah, the term is ultra terrestrial because it's uh, it's a camp now in the Bigfoot field that a lot of people believe that they're interdimensional and that they can come and go as they please. That's why if you kill one, the body disappears eventually. That's why
mhm.
that's why they can go in and out of our field of vision. Like, I I used to hate that camp. I used to despise that camp because I want them to be blood and flesh, physical things that have been here since before we were.
Mhm.
But I want that to be true. But I mean, it's kind of seems like it's leaning the other direction now, and I'm slowly accepting it because I have no choice. But I, you know, I'm still a Dragantipithecus theory lover at heart. I want that to be the true theory, which it could. I
Yeah,
mean, it's still good. It could be
it
maybe they're
could.
hiding.
Yeah. I
I mean,
mean, but this is how my mind keeps changing. Like as I keep getting different theories or paranormal, Bigfoot, UFOs, all these things.
yeah, and I mean that's the other thing. That's the other question that always comes up is why are Bigfoots and UFOs always seen in the same spot? Like, it's always like it raises a whole nother group of questions. Like, are they ultra terrestrial? Because a lot of UFOs supposedly are ultra terrestrial and whatnot. So and I'm giving myself a headache just even trying to think about it again. This is what happens every time. Every time I try to sit down and think about it all, it just all jumbles up and it's like, oh god, I've got myself into a wormhole. I'm not getting out of anytime soon. But it's and I was gonna bring a Bigfoot eventually because you said you live in Washington. I'm like, that's a Bigfoot hotspot. Like, that's a huge Bigfoot hotspot. I've interviewed teams that have got out there to do investigations for Bigfoot, and apparently there's scientists out there that's actually finding things, and it might be close to getting to the point where it's proven. But I
Yeah,
haven't heard
so
anything
I'm
on that
so
in a while.
excited. So excited now that I'm here because this is what I'm saying. I lived in a small town and I feel like I've moved up here with my people, right? It's like different people aren't leery of investigating something like this. I actually have an event coming up where I have, I think, two people who are Bigfoot experts. One, the myth and legends of Sasquatch here in Washington, that has written a couple books, and then another one. This is super interesting. He's from Georgia. He's a CSI. Really, that's his job with latent prints, and so he investigates and looks at people will send in Bigfoot, you know, imprints, you know, in plaster,
Yeah,
and he, you know, either debunks it or says this is real.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
I hmm, I wonder if I know who they are. That one guy sounds familiar, but I, I I've met so many people on the Bigfoot field, and I'm in so many Facebook groups. I see them all, but
I'm sure.
yeah, it's once people find out you have a paranormal podcast, like I get invites like weekly to different paranormal groups. I'm just like, sure, all right. I'm like, I need a place to share my show out. Sure, why not?
Yeah.
But it's just I don't know. I mean, I want to go to the West Coast just to do some Bigfootery, just to see if I could find something. But
Let's go.
man,
Come,
uh,
yeah. Bring the
man,
family.
man. I mean, honestly, we could maybe next year. That yeah, well, actually, I definitely have to wait till they get a little older because I'm not taking a 1-year-old on a plane. That'd be hell. That'd be
Yeah.
hell. I'm not because all she wants to do is run around. You can't do that on a plane.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
So, did you ever do an investigation where it got like scary or more of like it got horror, like almost like a horror theme type to it, like once you got into it?
Well, I have to say that I always am afraid, which is not really great for a paranormal investigator, right? Um,
Or is it? Because I
well,
mean, it's I think it's better to be a little afraid always, because then you're not going to do something stupid, and you're gonna be more cautious about everything.
and I mean, oh, sorry, the sun's coming up right here. That is actually the like joke about me is I do get like scared. Um, I don't like to, maybe because, like you were saying, you're empathic or whatever, you feel things maybe more. Um, if I'm with somebody, I'm fine, right? But one place that we used to investigate was this hotel in California in like an old gold mining town. And so the whole hotel was haunted, the basement where it used to be the jail or the morgue or whatever. That part was all fine, but it's like when I go back to my room to sleep by myself and the bed lifts up, like the bottom of the mattress. So, I sleep with the lights on and, people are going to make fun of me, but I don't know, that kind of is a little creepy.
I've seen too many movies that I would definitely sleep with the lights on too if I slept at all. But what's the name of that hotel? Because it sounds familiar.
Oh, shoot. I knew you were going to ask that. Let's see. I'd have to look it up. It's in Northern California. It was on Ghost Adventures.
I
Um,
man, I don't watch those shows. I can't
I
stand
know. I
them.
know. Me
Zach,
either, but it
Zach,
was
Zach Baggins is a clown, but I can't stand I can't
agreed.
stand I can't stand any of that crap. But it's
Yeah,
that,
talk
that
about antagonizing, spirit.
man, they're not even in real investigators in my mind. They're just out there
Yeah,
trying to make a buck. It's it almost is an insult to real paranormal investigators to even do those such shows, unless there's only a couple out there that I actually would back and say like these are the real deal. One of them being
agreed.
one of them being Small Town Monster Productions, because every investigation they do and make documentaries out of is 100%. I've talked to a couple of them. They're legit guys, and they actually are trying to prove things. They've proven more about Bigfoot than most people have in the last 100 years. So,
Hmm.
and Dogman and everything else too, just by going and spending a month or two in a town and talking to people and filming their conversations, and they can put together so much information that's ridiculous. But
Yeah, another psychic medium that I think is fantastic is Cindy Kaza. Do you know Cindy Kaza?
rings
She's
a bell. Rings a
she's
bell.
done a lot of the shows. She actually took over Dead Files, but anyway, she's 100% like real. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
Yeah. So her, yes, I love her. I
yeah. I
trust
mean,
every.
there's good there's always good in the
Hmm.
rotten bunch. There's always a couple good apples in the rotten bunch. Like it's the way it has to be. I I I've done whole episodes of this show about with people who are experts on how to detect fake psychics and whatnot. Uh,
Yeah.
Corby Mitley, I always screw up her last name. She wrote a book called the Yellow Brick Road Guide to Psychics, and
Oh.
basically it's a book on how to tell like a real psychic from a shyster who's just trying to get your money, which in this day of Instagram and all the other socials is so the amount of messages you receive on a regular basis, like, oh, I've been told I should talk to you. I have a reading
Yeah.
for you. Give me $5. Yeah, no, fuck off. Like, nope, ain't happening. Like, I ain't falling for your crap. Because if someone leaves a message for you, guess what? They're gonna give it to you whether you pay them or not. Like, they'll if they think they're gonna get paid for it, they'll wait till after they give you the information if you want to know more or not. If you think it's worth it, they're not gonna come right up and be like, "Give me money." Like, no.
No, and that is my big platform, is being ethical, right? Because, and that's why I say, I admit if I'm wrong a lot. Not, I mean, I try not to be, but sometimes it's just having to back up and look at it again. And I have to say, it could be pretty easy to fake some of it, right? And I read on a website the other day, there was this medium, and she said, all I need is the name and relationship. And I'm like, well, you better have some really good evidence then, because that's like a lot of the battle is, getting the person they want to talk to. And if they're giving it to you, then I don't know. That just seems
I
like,
that seems like you're just that seems like leading sheep to the slaughter. That's all it seems like. 'Cause it's, I mean, it's it's like all the there are so many cases over the last 100 years of people who came out later on to submit it was all fake. I think was it the Fox sisters. I mean, I fully
mm,
believe John Edwards is the biggest fake in the world. Like I can't stand like the TV psychics of the '90s who sit there on stage and just like call out common names or common things about people, and like people in the audience would just buy into it. I don't know if people in the audience were planted or if it was
mhm.
like they were just doing such calling out common things that like somebody's gonna have it like somebody's gonna have an aunt named Kelly. Like it's gonna
Yeah,
happen. Like someone in the audience is gonna have an aunt named Kelly, and it's gonna.
yeah,
And I mean, I don't know. They set the paranormal field back so far because at that point it was basically still like a little hidden society of people that didn't want to come out in public. And they set it back so far by making it more of like a Vegas show than making it an actual helpful, realistic thing that people could use.
right.
At least in my
Yeah,
opinion.
yeah.
But so, what is it? I just totally blanked on what I was going to say. uh, but yeah, I mean, an ethical psychic medium. That's it. That's kind of a new phrase to me. I mean, I know a bunch that could be described as that, but I never had anyone actually say like that's what they want to be is an ethical psychic medium. So
Yeah. Well, go ahead.
what makes you want to what made you want to set yourself apart by using that term?
Well, I think we all should be ethical. I think there's a lot of ways to, there's things that bug me, right? When I hear certain mediums or psychics, when they'll say, would you no, let's see, how do I say it? Would you understand this? But it's like they're telling the person something generic, kind of like we were talking about. Would you understand? Uh, he worked hard. Well, I mean, that could be like, you know what I mean? That could be like anyone,
Anybody?
really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
You got to get some really good evidence. Like he worked as a USPS worker in downtown Detroit or, something like this. I'm making that up, but
Yeah.
it needs to be pretty specific.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's basically what we were saying. Like the whole John Edwards thing. Like you can't just call out generic things and hope that someone's gonna. I mean, that's what these people did for
Yeah.
years. That's why in the '90s, my parents told me, don't go to the psychic shop on Main Street. They're all frauds, and they're gonna they can tell what you're looking to find out. Like if you make appointments with them, they'll Google you, they'll look you up and try to like do,
Yes.
do a little research to figure out like, oh, whose relatives had which one of his relatives have died in the past. I could say is try to get with them. Like it's
Yeah,
especially
or
nowadays.
they have them fill out a form. I've heard that before. Well, are you going to make me fill out a form? I'm like, no. Well, we had to do that for the last psychic. Like, give all their information. I'm like, what the heck, Or you say, I'm getting the number 8. Does 8 mean something to you? Well, come on. Unless you're going to say, I feel like he passed in August. I'm getting the number 8. That's more specific than just a number.
Yeah, I mean that's typically the way you gotta go. Is you gotta go with the whole like waiting for my wife to shut the door because the baby fell asleep apparently. So I don't want to.
Oh,
I didn't want to talk loud while the door was open. But
don't wake the baby.
oh god, no. Got bad enough nice sleep last night. But um, I, yeah, I mean, it's just there's so many, and people should know these days. Like, there's so many podcasts and TV shows about fake psychics that like they should know what the signs are. I mean, they really should. There's books out there too, as I said earlier. Like, there's a lot that can. If you're looking for a real one, you could find them. They exist. I've met so many great ones that I would trust every day of the week, and I would trust everything they tell me. But
Mhm.
actually, I don't think I've ever actually talked to one that I didn't think was real because the ones that aren't real, usually if they schedule to be on your show, they usually flake out towards the end because they get nervous about getting like caught in something. Because I'm like and I've actually seen that happen where I've had a guest flake out and
Mhm.
then like a couple months later, like I see something on Facebook about like them being called out about something they said. So it's like, all right, well there you go. You just proved my point to me already.
Right. And I think another tell is these mediums or psychics who charge so much money. I think that's wrong. I've seen
Yeah,
recently like somebody who charges like $1,000 for a reading.
you I mean, it's you can't. I mean, and it's people. I mean, yeah, charging like 250 for a Reiki session or is that's one thing. Good. I mean, you can get a massage that costs that much, so that's
Right.
comparable. Comparable. I still think it's a ridiculous amount of money, but still, it's comparable.
Yeah.
I mean, that's literally like a fifth of my mortgage. Like, I'm not going to give that to you for a Reiki session. Like, sorry, no. Maybe 50, $75 sounds reasonable, but
Yeah.
I mean, not to diminish anybody's business,
No.
but I mean, it's just, I mean, but there are people out there who will pay that, and that's why they do it because they want
Mhm.
they want the more well-off clients who can afford to do that type of thing and not
Mhm.
worry about it. They can do it repeatedly, and it's what it is. But it's just, yeah, I mean, it's a lot of money grabbing nowadays, and I mean, even some people have had in the show, like I look at their prices on their site after the show, and I'm like, Jesus, I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, or like they'll tell me like, oh, if you want it done, it's only this much. I'm like, yeah, we'll see. Like, it's not gonna happen, but okay, we'll see. I don't know. I wasted money once on one freaking guest service, and it just didn't. I was like, never again, never again. It just told me nothing new, told me nothing that I couldn't have guessed and made up myself. So I mean, I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, okay, yeah, no, you're not real. But it's,
Yeah.
I just, I don't know. But yet the ones who really want to help, the ones who really want to help, like I've had them offer to do for free, and they do it, and I believe everything they're saying. I believe everything they're doing, and I wasn't forced to pay for it because they just wanted to tell me the information they had. So that to me that's an ethical person, someone who
Mhm.
wants to get the information to you, and if they make something off it, they make something off it. If they don't, then karma's real. They'll make money on something else later that day probably because karma's real.
Yeah,
But
true story.
so what I always ask this question to people who are paranormal investigators, and it leaves different ways, but what was your favorite case you worked on?
It paranormal case
Oh no, just
or
favorite favorite case in general.
I don't
Like
know.
I had one guest who her favorite case was she helped find a bunch of missing girls that were in a shipping container in Texas
Oh, wow.
because she was looking for one girl and it led to finding a whole container of trafficked humans.
Yeah, that's super cool. Um, I'm just thinking about like ones that I've done recently. I don't know that one with the person that got dropped off at the border in Mexico. That was kind of interesting because then that led to two different, countries here. And then what did happen to that person? And the information that I got was random. Um,
Well, actually, I gotta ask because when you said that earlier, I was kind of curious.
okay.
Did they voluntarily get dropped off there, or was it
Yeah,
involuntary?
yeah,
Uh,
voluntarily. So I'm from California originally. So if you live down like in the San Diego area, I don't know about now, but back in the day, well, we used to go because you could drink there when you're 18, right? So
yeah,
you go for the night, come back. But people would go for the day. or just drive over or walk over. So this person did get dropped off for that reason, but then they just disappeared.
Which in Mexico, that's not always a good thing.
Yeah, yeah. And then there was a lot more involved with it, like the FBI. So I think the ones that have like some kind of history behind them that are like super involved, those are really interesting. And I think the cases with most of them, I think I work better when it's something that really sparks my interest, or I feel
Yeah.
like I'm helping. You know what I mean? Instead of like, say, like finding a missing person, like the teenage girl, right? That was satisfying because I felt like I was helping. If it's like an old case sometimes and there's not really anything you can do about it, sometimes you may not get a lot of information. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, cold cases are always hard. I mean, especially, I
Mm.
mean, if someone comes to you and says like, "Hey, can you help me find out what happened to my great uncle that disappeared 50 years ago?" And it's like, what do you want me to go off of? Like, like there's nothing to go off of on that. Like it's 50 years old. It's
Yeah.
everything's long buried and gone by that point. Like it's,
But
I mean,
some of the ones now that I have been working on since they started doing the DNA matching through the families are interesting because some of the cases that I worked on a couple of years ago, now they're finding out who was responsible, and I can validate a lot of my information, some of these cold cases. So that is, a way that I practice, on
yeah.
cold cases. And
And you mentioned earlier a group you're a part of, Find Me, I think you
mm,
said it was called.
yeah.
What is that? I never heard of that.
Find Me Group, it is out of Arizona. Actually, Kelly Snyder is former law enforcement. And so it's a group of people that offer their time and help. So he has like former law enforcement, he has search and rescue, uh, helicopters, planes, psychic mediums, forensic handwriting specialists, body language experts who will work on cases. So he is the one that gets the case from either the family or from, I think he only actually takes it from law enforcement. And then he'll give us the case and then we work on it and then we all submit our information. Some of the
That's
case, sorry.
that's a valuable resource that the world needs more of.
Yeah, and it's all free, right? And so it's some of the cases are old and some are current. Like if we get like a missing person current case, then we'll work on that.
They 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 should have groups like that all over the country right now, working on like trying to link all these missing kid cases over the last 20 years to like
Mhm.
to Epstein Island, like to see like how many of them actually were involved with that. Because I think there are so many cases out there that might just got cracked open because of that whole debunk and that whole release of documents. Like there are so many cases that might be able to get cracked open now, and families could
Mhm.
finally families. It might not be the answer they want to get, but they could finally get the piece of a resolution at least.
Yeah.
But, I mean, as sad as it is that we have to exist in a world where something like this exists, but and horrifying the stuff that's coming out about that horrifying. But yeah, I mean, I swear to God, I feel like I could start a whole podcast on that. I really do, but it's
Yeah.
I don't have the time. I don't have the
Yeah.
time or to do the research for it. But it's the world needs things like the Find Me group. Like they need people who are willing to help. Like, and there are enough psychics out there in the world that they and retired police that this should be like a normal thing in every state where they at least have one group in every state that does this. Like it,
Yeah. I do also work with a group of other psychic mediums they're from all over the world. And so like if one of us has a case, we will bring it to the group and we'll work on it as a group. And I like that as well because whoever has the case, let's say it's me, I will just give them, like I said, the picture, the name, if they're what day they went missing or if they were passed and the location, and then everybody works on it by themselves. And then we get together as a group and then we compare notes. And so, the hits are the things that we have in common. And then the more we talk about it, that kind of, you know, sets off other things where we've got to get a lot of good information.
What you just said it like you said when you get a hit, like what's that feel like? Because I've been told for every
Mhm.
psychic, it's a different feeling when they get the hit. Like it's always some. I mean, I met one who literally when they get the hit, they almost pass out because it's like so intense. But what's it like for you?
For me, I mostly felt like in my stomach, like like it not hurt. It doesn't hurt, but it almost feels like a like a gut feeling. Like literally, that's what it feels like for me. Or I might just know something. Like if I hear something, I'm like I know that's true. I know that's right.
Yeah, which
So
I mean, yeah, which literally is the definition of a gut feeling. Like that's what it is. Like I get like people, everybody gets them to some degree, but I mean, not the level you do apparently, but everybody gets them to some degree. I mean, I get a gut feeling if I know something bad's about to happen at work
yeah,
or something. Like if I'm about to get yelled at work, I usually get like or at school. Even when I was in school, like I used to, I get like a gut feeling like, oh, something's not going to be good today. Like
yeah,
something's like you get that like almost like queasy feeling, but not quite. Like it's like, something's about to happen, and I'm not gonna like what happens. But
yeah. I wish I had something that was
yeah,
amazing, but that's how it works for me. But I do teach other psychic mediums how to do this. And I've had some amazing students who get their hits in different ways. So I had one that when the person's alive, they can see the mouth moving on the picture. And then when they're passed, nothing. I see, yeah, some people have like where something happens to the face when they're looking at the picture. I wish I were that special, but for me, it's just that gut feeling or the knowing. Like when you hear it, you're like, yes, that's true, like that kind of thing.
the whole mouth moving thing has me thinking like Harry Potter, but
Right? I know.
it's that's see that'd be cool, but it also would creep me out to no end if I had that ability. But it's one of those. I mean, you got something that other people don't have though, so you gotta be grateful about that because you got something that other people just don't have. It's a special ability, and not everybody's unlocked theirs. I mean, yes, everybody supposedly has one, from what I've been told 1,000 times. Everybody supposedly has one.
Hmm.
It's true. I mean, because I think it's true at least. Because I mean, we only use what 10, 20% of our brains and then we know what it does.
Yeah,
What about the rest of our brain? Is that where the ability? Is that where
exactly.
that's where the abilities are ingrained? I think is part of our brains we don't use, and we have to figure out how to unlock them, which isn't always easy. I mean, there's
Yeah.
and why are they locked to begin with is the question. Like that's
Darn it, I know.
that's that's what makes me think. Like, did I'm like, was that a creator decision to lock that part of our brain, or was that a evolutionary thing? Because I feel like at one point everybody had that ability, like
Hmm.
unlocked, and then whatever they could do. But I feel like that was ancient times, and I feel like since then it's maybe we evolved and locked for our own safety and security because I don't know. Maybe that was a Salem witch trial thing. Like maybe it was that era where like people started evolving without it because obviously people were dying left and right, and
Yeah.
we saw we saw that. So maybe it became like an evolutionary thing. I don't know. This is all just
Well, I think. Sorry, I keep talking over you. I apologize.
no. I was trying to think of what word to even call it. I mean, this is all just hypothetical. I guess the best word I could use. I guess this is all just hypothetical, of course. But I mean, I just saw that. Like maybe it did have to do with like the 1700s when people were getting killed all over the world for having abilities. So maybe. I mean, I may just unlock something.
There you go. It's another podcast topic.
Yeah, God, the amount
So
of podcasts I could do.
I
Good
know, I'm
grief.
sure. I think it's also like a lot of practice. Like for me, I did a lot of mentorships with a guy named Tony Stockwell. He's in the UK, and I this is like my thing that I do on my spare time. Like I practice a lot. You know, um, other people, other psychics, it does come more naturally. It's like when you're not trying, you get the hit. But for me, it's a lot of practice. So I do believe that anybody can do it if they want to. Not everybody wants to do that.
I mean, I 100%. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, I've met the Matildas of the world who they get their powers from a young age, and they just it grows as they get older. Like
Hmm.
that seems like the easy way to get it and the easy way to deal with life. But I've met the ones who didn't realize they had it till they're in their 40s or 50s, and then all of a sudden it clicked, and like they were just sitting there one day, and all of a sudden they started hearing something talking to them that was in the room. Like it's it's a crapshoot. Like when you can unlock your ability, it's a crapshoot. It really is.
I agree.
Nobody nobody's just gonna. There's no instruction manual on how to do it every time precisely.
For sure. No.
But well, this conversation has been enlightening as could be, and hopefully, hopefully, if you do find anything in Washington, Bigfoot related or otherwise, hopefully Bigfoot, but otherwise as well, um, please always feel free to reach out. I'd love to be back on if you have a fun investigation, tell us about something like that along those lines. Um, where can people find you? Where can they, if they want to come to you for help, or if they just want to see what you're about, where can they find you?
Yeah. Well, of course, like everybody else, I'm rebranding, right? I'm going more into my psychic investigation, but I have a couple of different websites. So I have my mediumship one that also has the psychic investigation. It's mediumkellykristen.com. And then I have another site called thirdeyesleuth.com. Those are my two main. I do have, if it's okay to say, I do have an event coming up that's virtual. It's March 14th and 15th, and it is called The Art of Investigation. And that is the one I was talking about that has the UFO and the Bigfoot and a lot of different other things on there. Person that hunts serial killers. So that is artofinvestigation.org. And then I have an in-person, I call them Destination Investigation. I did one last year in August. I'm in Austin, Texas, and this year it's going to be in Port Gamble, Washington. And so people actually come and we work on a case that's local to the vicinity. So that's Port Gamble, casefiles.com. Whew, so a lot.
Yeah, well, interesting. I like the in-person one. Sounds interesting. I'm sure you get a huge hit on that, and especially in this community, people love that stuff. So, I'll I'd love to do it if I actually had the time.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
life gets in the way, unfortunately, of me doing what I want to do. But hopefully that changes at some point in the future. But I think in 5 years or so, things will be a lot easier. But um, people, go check out everything she has said. Oh, what? You didn't hear all that in one catch? Don't worry, it'll be in the description for all you who listen to the podcast. So no worries. You can click and go. And you all know where to find me. If you don't by now, what have you been doing? It's all in the outro though. Just listen and go. It's or in the description as well. But I shall be back, I believe, next week, folks, with another interview. I know I have two in a month. I'm spoiling it. I really am. When I used to do like 10, I used to do like 20 in a month. But
Oh my gosh.
that's why I got so much backlog. Yeah, I kind of set myself up to not have to do them anymore. It is what it is. But I'll run out of them eventually. So I'll have to be back to it eventually to a good amount. But folks, come then check it out. I want to thank Kelly one last time for coming on because it's been a really fun show. And I will see you all next time. I have to go get dental work done. Yay!
Thanks, Jeremy.
Thank you, and have a good one, everybody.